back to A&B Convos Reacts. Now, unfortunately, we had a little snafu with our previous film. There was a technical glitch, so we actually had to re-record this review. Because of that, we were being a little bit lackadaisical, if you would. So as you can see, you're going to see 3 reviews in a row where we're wearing the exact same clothing. Do not judge us, okay? You came to our show. But with that said, we are talking about Project Hail Mary. I've been waiting to give my scathing review of this piece of barnyard dung. But you go right ahead.
Well, okay, so I didn't think it was that bad. I saw the Adam Sandler version of this. I feel like we started with Sandra Bullock, right? Floating in space by herself. I thought that movie was awful. I hated that movie. I sat through it the best I could. I felt very claustrophobic. Like, I have no desire to go to space. None. And the thought of going out there that far from Earth in itself is so scary and so awful. So, like, the claustrophobia, the aloneness, all of it, I just, that was not for me. Adam Sandler's, like, his spider alien friend, it was interesting, but it ended up being like, I thought it was really good. Ultimately, it really got you into your feelings, into your emotions. You cared about the spider. But really, it was about this alien helping him to discover himself. I feel like this one, of course, the storyline was a little bit different. And with this, because the movie has been out for such a long time, I don't even know if it's in the theater anymore. We're going to give you spoilers. So I'm going to give you a heads up right now. Spoiler alert. Like, he did not choose to go on this mission. He was like, no. Like, even though Earth is going to probably be destroyed, it's not me. I'm not doing that. Kind of like Johnny Cage. So when he wakes up, when he on this, vessel and realizes where he is, and that all the people who were with him, he thought were going to be with him, were no longer with him. Basically, it was almost like an amnesia thing where he woke up and was like, how did I get here? Why am I here? Trying to remember what the cause was, trying to figure that out. Then he's just like getting drunk and eating because he doesn't like, what the heck, But then ultimately when he comes into contact with this alien life form, the alien life form itself, I give it to you, it's not something that you could feel a lot of affection for, but much like Tom Hanks had affection for Wilson the Ball, it's more so about being lonely, being away from people, discovering that you really do need people, because he was really alone even here on Earth. He really was. He was a loner. And I felt like it was an endearing relationship, and I didn't think the movie dragged really. It was fine for me, but not so much over here.
Yeah, no. This was no Castaway. This was no Tom Hanks. Okay, I like Ryan Gosling somewhat. But yeah, I will have to say that there is something about Ryan Gosling that doesn't work for me, and I'm not quite sure what it is. In regards to his acting, he's a fine actor, but like you had mentioned with Tom Hanks, there's an aloneness, if you will. I think that's the proper term, an aloneness, that he's now trying to create this relationship with this inanimate object, although it obviously is moving in the film. But I felt more affection for Wilson the Ball than I did for Rock.
Wow.
And I think that is because of the actor. Tom Hanks had me believe in it. Ryan Gosling did not. And I've seen this type of story before, and I'm kind of over it at this point, where you have a situation here where Earth is it's in peril, right? We have billions of people on the planet, but there's only one person that can save it all. All right. I mean, what else you got?
We kind of started out with
Bruce. If I'm sitting here as a movie producer, as an executive, I'm sitting here saying, what else you got? Like you said, we've seen this already. Well, here, check it out. We've got this rock creature that communicates in a way that he can understand, but he's inside of this sort of, I don't know, what would you call that thing that he was in? Like a bubble creature, right? He's a bubble creature. And they communicate, and they form this bond and relationship. And then he goes on to ultimately be with the rock creature and the rock creature clan at the end of the film. No. that's what we
for
need.
him to die?
No.
Because he would have died otherwise. He couldn't get back. It was always a one-way trip, which is why he didn't want to do it in the first place. So ultimately, they save Earth, but he doesn't have time to get back to it.
I mean, the reality is he didn't want to do it. And he actually said no. He himself, which is what the executive producer should have done before this film was greenlit. But he said no. And what ended up happening is that he was forced. He was kidnapped. And
oh, you don't say the Earth.
He was
taken.
You're
going to say the Earth.
That's basically what it was. And but you're not going to be able to see the Earth saved. This is a one-way trip. So again, for my money, I've seen this, and it just did not really fly with me. I'll tell you what it was like. The equivalent of, and this is where people are going to be like, wait a minute, what? You had two Wyatt Earp films. One with Kevin Costner and one with Kurt Russell. They had very different takes on this. Two different guys playing Doc Holliday. And people will say, well, I like this one versus this one. No, I like this one versus this one. Basically, I'm like, it's the same thing. They just have some slightly different perspectives on it. What jives with you? For me, like you said, we've seen this before in different iterations. Sometimes it's on a deserted island. Sometimes it is in space, like with Adam Sandler. Let's just do it again. And that's the thing about Hollywood. Hollywood loves to rehash. This is a winning thing. Let's rehash it. Let's change a couple of things.
It's hard to come up with new stuff these days. Everything's been done.
So look, we're going to rehash it. And for me, this rehash just didn't jive. This rehash, I felt no emotion. I wasn't connected. I generally just didn't care. And I really waited for this film to be over. And if we weren't going to review this, I might have walked out. And I'm not one to walk out on a movie, generally speaking. But there's really nothing about this that said a must-see in the theater. This was a Sunday afternoon, if you're just kind of channel surfing and you see something on the old tube there and you go, let me see what we got.
I agree with that. It's not a must-see in the theater.
And therein lies the problem. I've said this many, many times in the past. Back in the day, when movies didn't cost what they cost today, that's not necessarily a bad thing. You can afford to say, it was all right. But a lot of times you go into like the AMC theaters and they are charging an enormous amount of money to go see a film that I cannot come out and say,
right.
It was all right. I can't afford to do that. So this film has to be worth my money, and this was not worth my money.
Okay, well, if you've seen the film, let us know what you think below.
I would love to chat with you in the comments on this, and let me know if maybe I'm missing something. And I might give it another shake. Once it comes out on Blu-ray, DVD, Laserdisc.
Wow.
Once it comes out on Laserdisc.
You're really aging us right now.
Once it comes out on Laserdisc. No, aging us would be like, once it comes out on Betamax. And that was also the other debate back in the day. VHS versus Betamax. Which is better? I might give it another shake and maybe my opinion might differ on it. But for right now, nothing about this film, nothing about and everybody did their part with their acting. But again, I've seen it, been there, done that. This was nothing out of the ordinary, nothing special, and I was overly disappointed. But I will maybe talk to you more about that.
Okay then.
Project Hail Mary, well, unfortunately not. Project Hail Mary did not come to fruition. That's it for us and this episode of A&B Convos Reacts. We will see you next time.
Bye.